Hi everyone, welcome to Coffee with Christ. My name is Zoe, and on this channel, we're going to be talking about Jesus, the life of Christ, God, and we're going to be talking about topics that we might struggle with here and there. This channel was made to be a vessel of God's Word and to inspire others. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about boasting or blessing. We're going to be talking about what is boasting, we're going to be talking about pride, and we're going to be talking about what expressing a blessing truly looks like. So the first question, what is boasting? For the most part, boasting is fueled by pride, onto which pride focuses on self-glory or seeking validation from others or the world. Pride focuses on self-achievement and independence from God. It shifts attention from God by leading into arrogance and sense of superiority. Expressing a blessing, on the other hand, acknowledges that God is the source of all good and can often seek to encourage and inspire others. Expressing a blessing is about gratitude, humility, and acknowledging that all good things come from God. So now that I've kind of explained the difference between pride, boasting, and then explaining a blessing, I'm going to read some verses that might help us navigate us through it. So the first verse that I'm going to read to you comes from Proverbs 6. I'm going to be reading verses 18 through 20. Pride comes before destruction, an arrogant spirit before a fall. Better to be a lowly spirit with the humble than to divide and plunder with the proud. The one who understands a matter finds success, and the one who trusts the Lord will be happy. Now, the second verse that I'm going to be reading to you comes from James. I'm going to be reading chapter 4, verses 6 through 9. But he gives better grace. Therefore, he says, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Therefore, submit to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Be miserable and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned into mourning, and your joy turned to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will exalt you. So at the top of both of these verses, a lot of similarities can come up. When it says specifically where God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. It's saying this in both of the verses, and it's advising you to steer clear of being proud and to be boastful. God does this so that we don't become too much of ourselves, that we have no more room for God. Expressing pride can also look like, look at everything I've accomplished. I've worked so hard. I deserve all this success. I deserve everything that's coming towards me because I have worked so hard. Even this small statement, which might not always come off as prideful, can seem very prideful. Putting yourself in the position of you making something happen, even if you had it in your hands or you didn't, can make you seem prideful in your own words. Now, on the side of expressing blessing, there's just a couple of verses that I want to read to you. The first one is going to come from James, and it's going to be chapter 1, verse 12. And then the second one is going to be chapter 1, verses 17 through 18. Verse 12 says, Blessed is the one who endures trials, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. Later on in verses 17 and 18, it says, Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. By his choice, he gave us birth by the word of truth, so that we would be kind of first fruits of his creatures. All right, and then the second verse that I'm going to read to you is going to be Psalms 34, verses 1 through 3. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise will be on my lips. I will boast in the Lord. The humble will hear and be glad. Proclaim the Lord's greatness with me. Let us exalt his name together. So in verse 2, where it says, I will boast in the Lord, the humble will hear and be glad, this can also be aligned with just expressing blessing. By humbling your words, it is giving God the glory instead of you glorifying yourself. Instead of expressing gratitude by saying the phrase, look at everything I've accomplished. I've worked so hard. I deserve this success. Instead of saying the prideful version, you could say, I am so thankful for this opportunity that God has given me. God is so faithful to others and towards me. I am so blessed to be in God's graces. By aligning your words with humility and gratitude, You're glorifying God, and it reflects the heart of a true blessing. It reflects true gratitude and true being grateful for anything that you have. It could be for presents or your car that gets you to work. It could be really anything. Lastly, I want to leave with some reflecting questions. Who gets the credit? Is it you or is it God? And second, what is the motive? Are you sharing to uplift and to inspire others or to elevate yourself? Asking these questions as a new Christian or as a continuing question can help us align our thoughts, our feelings, and how we self promote ourselves. This concludes today's episode. If you've liked today, then you can leave some more topics in the comments, and I will see y'all later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.